You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our Training Thursday show. Every week on the Cabral Concept, we go through a different topic each day. So Mondays are Motivation and Mindset Monday. Tuesdays are Total Wellness Tuesday. Wednesday, Wellness and Weight Loss Wednesday. Training Thursday, sometimes Toxic Thursday. On Fridays, we do our Friday review where I bring you the best of the week, research, sometimes lab results, sometimes superfoods. We go through my favorite books and gadgets and recommendations, one of my favorite shows to go through as well to recap the week. And then also on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, we do the Cabral House Calls where we answer our community's questions each and every weekend. We get to about 10 to 20 questions every single weekend. So on today's show, since it is a Training Thursday show, I wanted to revolve the topic around metabolism and getting in your best shape for this summer. So I figured as we're moving into early June, I know that our friends over in Australia, New Zealand, the other part of the world, they're actually shifting out of their summer. But for us, we are moving in to the warmer weather. A lot of people are talking about getting bathing suit ready and getting into their best shape, which is great. We want to do that from as healthy a perspective as possible. So in yesterday's show, I spoke about food cravings. I do hope you tuned into that show. That was episode 1216. And today, we're going to get into I'm going to say it's not the top 10, but it's 10 of my favorite ways that are very doable in the real world in order to jumpstart your metabolism, right? So these are what I call everyday action steps that you can take to jumpstart your metabolism. They're not the complicated ones. So, people could say, well, here's a better way to get the metabolism going, but it's so intricate and so convoluted that no one's going to do it. So what I like to share with you on the Cabral Concept are things that I know people can do, that I know they can take action on, so I know that they'll get results. That's what it's all about. When you make things super complicated, I just feel this way with a lot of practitioners out there, and I know I'm teaching so many of the health practitioners right now, and I'm excited about that because what we want to do is create a network of integrated health practitioners that teach people how to get real results in the real world, not to do a podcast, write a book, write an article just to sound smart. That doesn't help anyone. What you want to do is take the information that you've accumulated and share that with others in a way that you know that they'll be able to take action on. And because they take action on it, and it's the right action, they're going to get that right end result. So today, let me take you through these 10 ways to boost or jumpstart your metabolism. And the first one, I want to get that out of the way, just like I did with food cravings yesterday. So the first one is making sure, and I'm sure you've heard about it by now, but making sure that you do a 12-hour overnight fast. Again, I feel like I always have to put in the disclaimer. But anyone dealing with hypoglycemia, adrenal-based issues, or HPA axis-based dysfunction, get that cleared up first. That will take probably somewhere around 12 weeks to 16 weeks to fully rebalance. You'll be feeling much better. You'll be able to then move into an overnight fast of 12 hours. Okay. This ninth one is going to tie together with this first one because a lot of people are doing the fasting correctly. They're not getting it quite right. So I'm going to pull that together towards the end. But here's the thing. 12 hours, yes. 6 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning, 7 at night to 7 in the morning, 8 at night to 8 in the morning, all good, right? The earlier the better, but it's all good. Okay, so here's the thing though. Some people will be able to do 14 to 16 hours, but that's pretty much the maximum. No one should really be doing more than 16 hours unless it's for a shortened period of time or it's under their healthcare or doctor's supervision and for a specific reason. If you're fasting for 16 hours or more And I know you've heard about autophagy. I've talked about autophagy 3 years ago. Like when it was, most people, they had no idea what it was. And it became a little bit more mainstream in 2018, 2017. And that's because it was one of the Nobel Prize winning discoveries in medicine and oncology for killing cancer cells. But we Americans, we like to take things a little far. So if a little's good, then a whole lot must be better on a daily basis. But it's not always true. Because what we're also finding right now, specifically with a lot of women, specifically ages later 20s and up, that it slows the thyroid. The longer you fast, the more it will slow your thyroid for a lot of people. Not everyone. I'm not saying that it's everyone, but for a significant amount of women especially. So if we look at that, and we know that we can lab test for it, you can do a thyroid adrenal hormone test, and you can see that it slows metabolism. We look at it and say, well, why would fasting slow metabolism? Well, you're telling your body during a fast, yes, it's absolutely breaking down necrotic tissue and proteins and bacteria, all things that shouldn't be there, without a doubt. But you can do that for too long. And at that point, your body says, okay, not enough food or just enough food. Let's start to slow metabolism so that we can live with less calories. And that's why a lot of people brag on a keto diet that they only need to eat like 1,000 calories now. I can tell you this, that is nothing to brag about. You want to brag about being able to eat a lot of calories and not put on weight. That means you have a very strong metabolism. The inverse is also true. If you eat 1,200 calories and you gain 2 or 3 pounds, you have a slower metabolism. It's important to look at both of those, okay, and the reasons as to why. Neither one is necessarily good. We provide balance, but I can assure you, people enjoy eating food for the most part and would prefer not to have to count all of their calories. And I don't want them to count their calories either. So let's do a normal fast, somewhere between 12 and 16 hours. A really nice one that I follow pretty closely to is 6 at night to about 8 in the morning. Gives me a good almost 14 hours or just about 14 hours. I'll probably eat just a little before 8 o'clock, around 7:30 or so. And that allows you to start to eat as the body gets going, and it needs the fuel anyways. But I mean, again, this is just one variation of it. I'm not saying that you can't fast longer. One day a week, I do a longer fast. So we can look at it in different ways. But just be careful that we're not going too long. And if you do go long, and I'm not saying that you can't, let's say every day you do a 16-hour fast. Fine. After being on that, and you plan to do it for your life, after 12 weeks, just run a thyroid adrenal hormone. Run T4, run T3, run your TSH, okay? TPO antibodies ideally. Run your cortisol 4 times a day. Look at your estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and DHEA. Just take a look at it. Just make sure that everything's good. And if it's good, then you're good. And then run it again if you want in 6 months. See if you're still good. For sure, in this day and age, there's no need to guess anymore. I don't have to say I'm right. You don't have to say you're right. The lab report can tell you that. That's how I look at it. And that's why I just say, like, I don't have to have an opinion. I don't have any opinions. I base everything off of what I see and have seen for the past 250,000 plus client appointments that we've met. All it is data with real people and what happens in the real world, not just a study. Because studies to me don't mean anything if they're not long-term enough, if they're not done with humans, and if it wasn't enough of a large enough population selection. So again, I'm going to do what works in the real world, and it's backed up by science, which is lab testing as well. All right, that was a long on just one point. We have 10 to go today. I'll move a little bit quicker. All right, so number 2 is this. Ensure that you're eating 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables each day. So important. Why? Fiber, balancing the gut microbiome. They're called microbiota accessible carbohydrates. That's the new term, MAC. What does it mean? All it means is carbs that your good bacteria and everything else in the microbiome can use in order to feed. And if you don't give them those carbohydrates, it's going to begin to slow your metabolism. And I don't know, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I find a link for you on this. And it's actually my third point. So let me just stick with this for a second. If you're eating your 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, And if you're worried about sugar and all of that, stick with low glycemic berries. If it ends in berry, you're good. If it also says cherry, that's okay too. Cherries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. Enjoy. Okay? Have a cup or two a day if you're worried. 1 or 2 cups, that's it. Easy. Then have another 5, 6 or more servings of vegetables. This is where we get into a little bit of an issue. It's why I have an issue with the 2 meals per day. If you're only eating 2 meals per day, how do you get in 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables? When we know those are anti-cancer, they're anti-cardiovascular disease, they're anti-stroke, they help balance blood sugar, your body needs them for detoxification. I just get a little worried that we're forgetting our long-term health for these short-term diets and benefits. That's all. I just want to put that out there to people. And it's your decision. I'm just here to bring you other sides of the story that are not always talked about. And I just really feel that it's an unbiased perspective because I'll do anything to help people. Like, it really does not matter to me. I don't care who created the diet, although, by the way, there's no such thing as creating a new diet. If there's a diet out now, it's already been done over human existence, right? Fasting is not new. Low carb is not new. High carb isn't new. High fat isn't new. Like, these things have all existed in one form or another. So keep that in mind. All right, number 3 is this. I'll just go back real quick. We need the fiber and we need the fruits and vegetables and all those antioxidants to keep the metabolism going. Really important, all right? Lets the body know, gets all of its micronutrients, not just macros. Number 3 is this. Balance your gut microbiome. And here's where I'm going to link up that podcast. I did a podcast. I'll have to go find it. My team will help me with that. We need to link up the show on the 2 forms of bacteria that we can point to that we know, when they're in the proper ratio, enables you to burn body fat to a greater degree. They're called Bacteroides and Firmicutes. They're well studied. And we know that when they are in better balance, people burn more body fat. It helps with weight loss. You lose weight much easier without trying. Now, simple standpoint this for people that don't want to test those exact levels. What could be going on? Could be this. It could be small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It could be candida overgrowth. It could be weak stomach acid allowing the food to ferment more. Could be H. pylori causing that weak stomach acid. So these are all important to look at. You can run an organic acids test for this if you'd like. You can run a stool test. They will give you a lot of that data. Really, really remarkable. But I'll link up the podcast and it will tell you more about that. But I'm telling you right now, the bacteria in your gut either help you burn more fat or they help you hold more weight. And I say help on purpose because previously, gaining weight and putting on body fat would have helped us through some type of famine or winter or whatever it might be where food was at a shortage. All right. Important to check that out. Now that we don't live, at least people listen to this podcast, in as much of a time of famine. All right. Number 4, add in interval training. And I want to link up just one show. I've done so many shows in interval training. They're all kind of designated by the TT. If you go to stephencabral.com/podcast and you type in TT or you just look through the TT shows, you'll find all of the training Thursdays. Well, last Thursday, I did a show, episode 1210, on how to burn body fat, how to burn more body fat in less time. Check out that show. It goes through interval-based training. So, how to use shorter blasts of exercise in order to burn more body fat and speed up the metabolism. This is very important, and it's always been very important to me because I learned a long time ago in the health club industry that the majority of people, they don't exercise, and the number one excuse was this. It wasn't that they didn't want to. It wasn't that they didn't think they needed to, and it wasn't that they didn't see benefit in doing it, but it's they didn't have the time. So if you don't have the time, and someone tells you need to do an hour of fasted cardio, probably not going to do it. It's first thing in the morning, you may not want to do that. But if someone tells you that you can do 10 to 20 minute workouts, and you can just do them more often and get great results, you might say, well, I can find 10 minutes before work, lunchtime break, after work. You can find 10 minutes. And that's what I talked about on that show. So check that out. That was last week, 1210. Adding interval training in. Just always be careful that if you're on a hypocaloric diet, that you don't then over-exercise. That's a great way to slow the metabolism. Maybe I'll do a spoof show on how to slow the metabolism, because you'll do the inverse. So don't eat enough and over-exercise. It's a great way to slow your metabolism, because what you're basically telling your body is, I have a lot of work to do, manual labor or induced fight or flight, but I don't have enough food. So what's your body going to do? Oh, well, then we'll slow metabolism. We'll slow metabolic output. We'll slow digestion. We'll slow thyroid. We'll slow hormones. We'll reduce testosterone, decrease libido, decrease ambition, drive, endurance, stamina. Your body's not messing up. It's saving you. It's protecting you. So we have to be careful of how we're thinking about our symptoms. Our body's not messed up. It's not. It's we're doing things unconsciously, just hasn't been taught before, that's causing our body to slow our metabolism. So again, don't overtrain if you're taking your calories down. If you want to train hard, increase your good calories. Eat clean, but add some more calories in. Tell your body it's not starving. I'm telling you right now, you will see yourself start to burn more body fat. You're boosting your metabolism. Eating alone is metabolic. So it's important. Again, we don't want to eat the wrong foods, but we want to do that. All right, number 5 is this. This is a fun one. This is one that I will definitely be teaching more in the future. In the future, I'll be coming out with a weight loss-based course. It's a course. It's education, because I want people to understand truly how to lose weight, but I will give you the full program. I'll give you the nutrition. I'll give you the exercise. I'll give you everything that you need. And I'll teach all the intricacies as well with Ayurveda in there. But when I was in Sri Lanka and I was in India, we did this no matter what clinic I was at. And I was at about 8 clinics. Could be more. Maybe it's 10 clinics. At least 8. And I worked in them. And I worked with many different doctors. It wasn't just one doctor. Usually it's multiple doctors on staff. And we had protocols. And for people looking to lose weight, no matter what clinic I was in, we gave them hot spices. Sometimes just in their food. It's anti-kapha diet. Or we put them in pill form. We got people what? Boosting their metabolism through the thermogenic effect of food. That's why, it kind of makes me laugh a little bit. People are like, well, I'd rather just do it through food. And I agree. But a lot of times when you're taking supplements too, it's food-based, just at a level you would never be able to consume as an extract. So I like to get people results. I like to do it in a safe way, a clean way. But the bottom line is get people balanced, get them healthy, get them results. They're happy, they're healthy, and then they can, they can wean off supplements and they can do different things like that. So anyway, but that is one thing that we did for sure. And a lot of people don't know about that. But spices, for sure, hot spices help boost that metabolism. Works great. Number 6, drink 4 to 5 bottles, 16-ounce water bottles every day. So most people know about, you go to your local drugstore, health food store, whatever it is. And a lot of times they're 16-ounce bottles. Well, a 16-ounce bottle is 2 glasses of water, okay? So I'm saying drink 4 to 5 of those a day. Now, there's an easy way, and I wish I could give credit for whoever came up with this, but I have no idea who the first person was. But you put 5 elastics on your left wrist. And by the end of the day, before you go to bed, you want to have transferred all of those 5 elastics to your right hand. And you carry around the same, ideally, reusable bottle, and it's 16 ounces, and you fill that up 10 times. You can use the water to put in your smoothie. You can use it to make a ginger tea. But you want, 5 refills of that 16-ounce bottle 5 times. And so every time you fill up that bottle, when you consume it, when it's at the very bottom, you switch the elastic. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was a great idea. You could use whatever you want. You could use bracelets instead of elastics. Might look a little nicer. And so what I'm saying is to get in the habit, do that for 21 days. You'll be in the habit. You'll look forward to it. Before, back in the day, again, people weren't carrying around water bottles as much. This is a long time ago. And they might be walking around with like a bottle of Poland Springs or something. I would just have the mark on the cap with a 1 every time they drank it, and then another line, and then another line, and they just had to get 5. It's the same information. When you draw that line through those first 4, through those 4 lines, and you get your 5th, you drank 10 glasses of water for the day. Great work. That's what you're looking to do. Water boosts the metabolism, curbs cravings, makes you feel satiated. Just make sure you drink it around meals. Drink it 30 minutes before a meal. Drink it an hour after a meal. And you can just sip on it as well. Okay, really important to look at that. All right, let me tell you what I do though, because I always like to share exactly what I do. Every morning I wake up, typically I like to hydrate my body. So I do the daily fruit and vegetable blend. I use the unflavored in the morning. I use the crisp apple workout time, but use that. And again, a pinch of sea salt, squeeze my lime in there. I love the flavor of that. Stir it up because it mixes with just a spoon, but you can shake it if you want. And I just drink it. And that's room temperature water. I have a Berkey at home and I just fill it up and then I'm good. Drink that, not too much water. I just do a glass. That's all. I don't want to overfill my stomach that early in the morning. Some people can drink 2-3 glasses right away. That's great. My stomach is not going to put in 2-3 glasses of water right away. So I put in about 8 to 12 ounces. I drink that and get ready for my day. Then I make my smoothie. My smoothie is going to put about 16 ounces of water. It's going to be about 4 to 6 ounces of sometimes macadamia nut milk, sometimes some coconut milk, or I might just put some coconut cream in there. And then I'm putting in 2 to 3 cups of berries and veggies. Okay. That smoothie makes about 32 ounces of fluid. It's about a liter. Okay. So now I just fill that up in 2 mason jars and I'm on my way. I have my 2 smoothies for my breakfast right there. But when you look at that, that's another 4 glasses of water. I don't drink it all right away. I drink that smoothie over the course of an hour and a half. Now, at work or one that I bring, I have a liter glass water bottle, 33 ounces, 33.8 technically ounces for a liter. When I finish that, I've consumed another 4 glasses of water for the whole day. My job is before I leave my office, I need to consume that water bottle. That's it. Now, I've drank 4 glasses with my smoothie included in it because the fruit has water in it. I drank my liter bottle at work, had a little when I woke up, and then when I get home, I do a little bit of sparkling water, spring water still, and that's it. I got my 10 glasses. So again, I've calculated this before, but it's about half your body weight in ounces of water per day. The days that I'm at the gym, I typically drink a little bit more water, usually another 16 ounces, so another 2 glasses. I sweat more, need more water, easy. So that's how I look at it, and it keeps it simple. And that will keep your metabolism boosted, and it will keep you hydrated and with plenty of energy. And again, curbing those cravings. All right. The next one is this. Talked about this yesterday as well. Not getting enough protein. Boost your metabolism with more protein. It's the most thermogenic food out there, which means that for every 100 calories of protein you eat, about 30 calories of those go towards the digestive process, the metabolic process, which means you're really consuming about 70 calories. For fat and carbs, it only burns up about 6 versus 30. So you're consuming about 94 calories of that. It doesn't mean don't eat carbs and fat. What it means is that protein is very thermogenic. It keeps you satiated. It helps boost the metabolism. It's good for rebuilding muscle tissue after your workouts or just the natural formation of new tissue as you burn and break down cells in your body and tissue in your body. So simple, straightforward, 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. And although that may make sense for all of our, friends over in Europe and Australia, a lot of Americans are going to say, what does that mean? And so all I want you to do is calculate it like this. Take half your body weight and eat a little less than that in protein. So if you weigh 160 pounds, you take half of that, it's 80. Well, you need a little less than that. So about 70 grams or so per day. Easy. And use this for your ideal body weight. So if you weigh 250 pounds, you don't need to eat 125 grams of protein per day, especially if your goal weight is 180 pounds. You're going to look more towards like 70, 80, 90 grams of protein versus your, 125 for half of the 250. All right? Important. It'll keep you satiated. Split it up over your 3 meals or have the larger one if you want at 1 meal, but still keep it all in there because your body's not going to consume 80 grams of protein at a meal. All right? The next one is this. Get 8 hours of sleep. 7 if you're pushing it, but try for 8 hours of sleep. Believe it or not, it actually boosts your metabolism. When you go above 9, it starts to slow the metabolism. But if you stay in the 7 to 8 hours, it's going to boost the metabolism. Here's a couple reasons why. So 1, it's going to calm stress hormones. When you calm stress hormones, such as cortisol, because you produce melatonin at night and cortisol will drop, ideally, You have serotonin pumping as well, which works in conjunction with melatonin. You start to burn more body fat overnight, and you don't dysregulate blood sugar. They find that those people that are more stressed or got 6 or less hours of sleep per night had higher blood sugar and a higher risk for type 2 diabetes. It's not just about weight gain, it's also about sleep and overall stress. Get yourself 7 to 8 hours per night. It will help with your body transformation goals for sure. Number 9 is this. Empty your gut. That's what I call it. Go to bed with an empty stomach. I know that people are saying, have some food before bed, whatever it is. And I was with that. And I'm not totally against it for muscle gain, fitness competitors, etc. But for overall health and longevity, stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed. Here's why. You want the benefits of fasting? If you eat at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, it's not a 12-hour fast till 10 the next day. And here's the bigger point, though. This is what most people are missing. If you don't go to bed with stopping eating 2 to 3 hours before that, your body uses a lot of energy for digestion, which means your deep sleep is not going to be there, at least for 2, 3, 4 hours before that food moves out of the stomach. Your body's not going to have its blood sugar at a lower level, which means you're not going to tap into as much body fat. Stay away from food 2, 3 hours before bed. It will help you burn more body fat, boost your metabolism. And again, when I'm saying metabolism today, I'm using it a little loosely. I'm talking about it with burning more body fats, keeping the processes of the body working properly. So, meaning liver detoxification is a metabolic process. Your cells removing waste is a metabolic process. This happens at night as long as all systems are balanced. All right. The last one is this. 1 refeeding meal per week. And I think you'll like this. I've talked about this before. People haven't heard the term refeeding before, but talked about it a long while ago in one of the shows. It's a term that we used to use in bodybuilding. And again, I was never a big bodybuilder. I wasn't a big competitor. I was into natural bodybuilding. And I was like, I wanted to see what I could do with my body. When my insides weren't working and I physically was unwell, I said, what can I do with the outside of this body? And so again, I've talked about this before. I'm not going to go through it today, but it provided a lot of solace in a place where I was in an unhappy place. And exercise and going to the gym will always hold a really special place in my heart, in my life, because of how it got me through being so really debilitated on the inside with having no health and no energy and all of that. So anyway, having said that, if you want to eat very cleanly all week and your carbs might be a little on the lower side, what you want to do is boost leptin and ghrelin. So you can check out a previous podcast. I'll try to link it up if I can. Today should be episode 1217. So everything will be over at stephencabral.com/1217, such as the gut microbiome lab testing, the organic acids test, stool test. We'll put up just a bunch of things over there. The smoothie recipe guide is over there, which is a free smoothie recipe guide for what I do and what I recommend in my practice. But the 1 refeeding meal boosts leptin and ghrelin so that you tell your body that it's not in a starvation state, that it has plenty of food. The trick to the refeeding meal is it can't be more protein or fat. It actually has to be more carbs. Now, it can be healthy carbs. People ask me all the time, can it be healthy? And I said, sure. You can eat 3 sweet potatoes if you want. That would be totally fine. But what you want to do is get at least 100 grams of carbs at that meal so that you tell your body, oh, look, great. We don't have a shortage of food and a specific macro group, which would be carbohydrates. So we can replenish glycogen stores, we can boost serotonin levels, boost leptin, boost ghrelin, keep the thyroid function well because a low-carb diet isn't always great for the thyroid, make the gut microbiome happy because you're feeding the gut bacteria, and that allows you then. Now, would you gain weight the next day? Maybe. Some people might actually gain a pound or two, but that weight comes off within the next 24 hours or so, and then it will enable you to burn more body fat on subsequent days after that. So it doesn't just even out, it actually helps you in the long term. So you can look more into that. Just a refeeding meal to boost fat-burning hormones, leptin and ghrelin being 2 of those. So hopefully today's podcast was helpful. A lot of fun talking and blending nutrition with advanced science, with exercise. Hopefully it was beneficial for you. As always, if it was, please do feel free to pass this information along and podcast to anyone you feel it could serve. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests, or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.